Hi, my name is Josephine Keefe. I'm a member of the Nez Perce tribe, and I play Sarah Ridge Polson in our production of Sovereignty. I am based out of Spokane, Washington.
Avery Clark. I play Ben Andrew Jackson, and I'm based just outside of Seattle.
My name is Esteban. I play the role of Jim Ross and John Ross, and I'm originally from Tucson, Arizona.
I'm Lance Claymore. I play Elias Boudinot and Wadey. Right now I live in St. George, Utah, but I'm also Lakota from the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe.
A lot of the table work, the first week of our process, was about unpacking some of those pieces that many may not recognize as consistent, persistent forms of historical trauma on colonized people, on the indigenous people of this land of Olympia. When we talk about the Cherokee, we also must acknowledge the indigenous people within the land that we are living on now, presently in Olympia. So within our discussions in the table reads, it was unpacking some of those things and discussing what we are ignorant about within our own understanding of our country, our own understanding of what it means to be American, and what that cultural identity means between two different bodies of people that have experienced two different forms of American history. And this is a play through Mary Kathryn's eloquent and incredibly smart writing, finds a way to bring those together in a confluence between these two from the past and the present, and how they dictate what our future holds. So that's been a huge part of the discussions that we've had as an ensemble, because it's a significant theme within the play itself.
The play also does a good job of well as saying, even historically in present day, there are still allies of the this variety of mankind, and then there's still not allies like me in the show. So it's a fine line, but as for an actor, yeah, you just have to kind of do it. And at the end, we've even talked about rehearsal. Like I did another show earlier up at ACT that was very, very racially charged. And even at the end of the play, we all kind of got together. We just kind of grabbed hands, had a moment for each other. And we kind of have that same thing with this show. It's like we are actors. We are telling a story as an ensemble, as a group of people. And we are just, there's a lot of love in the room, but there's unfortunately a lot of hate in the world that needs to be portrayed as a mirror onto society. So we're just kind of jumping in, and everyone's obviously very good about that. We know it's for the greater good, what we're doing, in spite of the words that come out of our mouths.
Man, well, there's a lot of good things about this play. In particular, the complication of when you're an indigenous person, the legal realm and your personal life.
Oof.
Certain things happen to you on the res, it becomes more about the sovereignty, the treaties, because I am part of two nations, the Lakota Nation and the American Nation, and both living on it. So I'm living in two different countries legally. And just like, even my last name was federally issued. So like there's a lot of complication that happens in the personal life for someone who's indigenous comparatively to everyone else. There's just higher stakes for a lot of stuff. There's a certain incident that happens in the play that shows the complication of simple abuses to an individual who's an indigenous could have crazy consequences on a legal realm, which can prevent any justice from going in. And the fact that this play can explore how complicated to just live your personal life, and politics is always right there, whether you like it or not. A lot of Americans can kind of ignore politics, live their life, but as an indigenous person, particularly with the treaty still intact, it can be very complex, and it's very important.
And I just kind of want to add to that. That's very true. Regarding what's going on in the actual play itself, and what we both come to learn as far as what's going on here is that The basic pursuit of regular justice that most everyday Americans get to just be worry-free of and know that it's their pursuit of justice is intact. It's completely secondary when it comes to being a Native American, and you have to seek it almost to like a really high federal level, and even to the point of some ongoings where it's in the Supreme Court, just to seek some, semblance of simple, regular justice for yourself, as an individual.
I hope that when people come and see this show, that they are moved by our performances, that they walk away maybe learning something that they didn't know before,
Yes.
that they become more engaged with the indigenous communities of this area if they aren't already, and that they become actively participating in advocacy for missing and murdered Indigenous women, which is also a through line within this play and an important subject for our country to be prioritizing.
It's very heavy material, but it's very smart. It's very clever. These are very clever characters on stage. So there is some humor to it as well. So it's not just this dirge of, oh my gosh, these poor peoples. It's nothing like that. It's not people wallowing or anything like that. It's people striving to move forward, finding humor in situations, and finding light and darkness as well.
This play is a provocative history lesson.
This play is very important, particularly it touches on a lot of stuff like VAWA and how that relates to the sovereignty of indigenous nations. It goes into a lot of things that not any other play or most all the projects that I've personally been in, but a lot that I've seen doesn't delve into, because being indigenous, knowing the bit of the political legal realm, it can seem very complicated. Like if a lawyer wants to learn tribal law, they just need to learn tribal law. It's just so within its own self. And it's very important for Americans to understand that. But it's very hard because it's not taught anywhere. And this play is a very good way to give you somewhat of a summary of the importance of it. It's just an extremely important play. Like from when I read it to when I auditioned, when I was auditioning, I was shocked that even in the sides that I was auditioning brought up VAWA. It brought up certain things. It brought up certain details in such a way that that there's just nothing else have really tapped into. So I encourage definitely people to watch it. It's one of the most important projects I've been in so far to date.
Very much same answer. It really tapped into a lot of things that were never explained, and I never really thought to do a deep dive into informational-wise. And having my hands on this play and reading into all the characters involved, not just my own, and what their roles were and how it affected, present-day legislation for Native Americans and their sovereignty on their nations is extremely important, and is something that's unspoken and that should be known by Americans in general.